Yeah, so the reddest red flag of all red flags is the user.
Oh.
The weakest link in the technology currently is the user and technical literacy level of the user, unfortunately. Most of the cases we face are phishing, something like this,
Mm.
without any sophisticated hacking.
Okay.
We have like few big hacking cases which are very loud per year,
Mm-hmm.
but in reality, most of the cases we face is just someone was working in the company and stole the key,
Oh.
and now this person has access to the wallet,
Mm-hmm.
so they stole the money and ran away. Um,
Welcome back to Intangiblia. Today, we are joined by someone who doesn't just decode system, he builds chills for the digital world. Igor Data. Igor Data or Data?
oh, whatever you want, honestly. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Okay. Igor Data is the CEO and co-founder of Blin Analytics, a Geneva-based firm using cutting-edge technology to track stolen cryptocurrency and fight money laundering. He's also a veteran builder of tech platforms, from gamer networks to medical systems, with a unique flair for blending technical architecture and investigative thinking. In this episode, we ask, can algorithm catch criminals faster than they innovate? Is transparency enough when tech itself can deceive? And how do we build ethical code in a world where crime is decentralized? Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Igor Data. I am CEO of Blin Analytics. We focus on tracing stolen crypto assets, so we fight money laundering on the blockchain.
That's great. And
Yeah.
how did you end up in Geneva?
So, in fact, it was completely random. I found a new opportunity after moving from US. I moved to Switzerland, and I'm quite happy here. This is an amazing country. I love it.
So we both transplants.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have navigated diverse industries: gaming, medicine, petroleum, and now crime fighting. What unifying passion fuels your tech leadership in all of these different industries?
Yeah, this is simple. I can tell you, I like to make people happy. And when I see my friends or colleagues or some other people struggle with, in some area with their problems, I like to think about these problems, gather as much information as I can. So then I start to kind of rotate this problem, this information space in my mind, and at some point in time I can see like that's it, I can connect the dots and find the solution for this. Then I start working with these people to better understand how they see the world and how to build the product in a way they would like to have it, and then I bring it to them and they're happy. So that.
That's a beautiful statement. So it's to bring joy to people's life.
Yeah.
That's very nice. In Bling Analytics is on the front lines of anti-money laundering, a very cross-edge, very heavy kind of work that you
Yeah.
do, and crypto investigations. What's the hardest part of following the money in a decentralized environment?
So a few years ago, I would say it was mixers, and mixers are the services designed especially to obfuscate the path and make it impossible to trace stolen assets. Not exactly stolen;
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing bad in the mixer per se, but in my area, criminals was always using mixers to obfuscate the path of the assets, so we cannot trace them. So we were able to solve, let's say, unsolvable task and find a way how to demix and start tracing. That was the beginning of Blin Analytics. By the way, Blin stands for blockchain investigations, so this kind of
Ah,
stuff, so easy. And this is why I thought it was the most difficult part. But lately, when these mixers was massively suppressed by law enforcement agencies, I can tell that the speed, how quick police can react, is the new, let's say, weak spot,
mm.
because the perpetrators, the criminals, they never stop. They keep running away with money,
Oh,
and you have to run as quick as they do to catch them, right?
of course.
Yeah.
So you will say that is the reaction time that takes.
Yeah, this is
Uh,
crucial. Reaction time is crucial.
yeah.
I would even say if you have some digital assets and one day you realize that they were stolen, you should run to police and open criminal case the
Mm.
same day. That
Oh, okay.
even the same hour, if you can do that,
The moment you realize that something
yes,
is off.
it might be. It might have really serious impact on success of
Oh.
freezing the assets
Because the
and
faster
recovering them.
you follow them right after the act, the easier it is to catch them.
In fact, first few steps are the most important,
Mm.
and if criminals manage to reach some exchanges, that might drastically reduce the probability of success of the investigation.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
of freezing the assets.
Mm-hmm.
The investigation itself can take months, sometimes years in some specific cases.
Yeah,
But
because
if
they need to take it to court. It needs to be
yeah,
robust. It takes a lot of steps. Yeah.
but if you want your assets being recovered, you
Mm-hmm.
have to act very quickly.
Yeah. Okay. So report. The moment you see
Yeah,
something, say something.
yeah, like yell something.
If all transactions on blockchain are visible, then why criminals expect to get away with the stolen assets and how?
Yeah, so as I said, there are these kind of mixer services, and they work in a way that you can follow the money, right? But you
Mm-hmm.
don't know who owns the money. It's
Okay.
like several people will approach the table and will put all their money on the table, mix it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you take the same amount that you put, but you didn't take your money. You take someone
Ah,
else's money, and they're mixed. They're split into small pieces and then
okay.
mixed, and then you receive them back. So from outside, you can follow the money, but it's not the criminal who stole the assets. So
Okay.
you have to understand who is on the other side owning what part of this money, and rebuilding this takes a lot of time, statistical analysis, math, clustering, AI. That's like a lot of effort.
But and in this mixer, it could be people who are innocent, who's just
Yeah,
happen
there
to be
are a
there.
lot of people who like to keep their privacy high,
Mm-hmm.
so they use mixers. But unfortunately, few years ago, about 80% of incoming money into the mixer was some illicit illicit
Activity.
asset. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's most likely to be illicit than to be illegal.
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
they were highly suppressed
Mm-hmm.
by sanctions. You
Okay.
cannot disable the service that runs on blockchain because it's decentralized,
Mm-hmm.
but you may scare all good people
Mm-hmm.
to have a risk to their real good assets would be frozen, so they
Oh,
stopped
they won't be
using
able to
it.
use them. Yeah.
Yeah, so they used it to some degree
Mm-hmm.
for some like specific cases, but you don't put a lot of money there anymore.
Okay. Because you have the risk of us
Yeah,
being frozen just because it looks suspicious.
yeah,
Okay, makes sense. Makes
yeah,
sense. And if you're genuinely doing something, the last thing that you want is to lose your money.
yeah.
But when you're a criminal, you have more. By the style of the hacker, you have an idea where they come from.
Yeah, by the style of the hacker, we have an idea where they come from and even where they are located on the planet, most
Oh, wow.
probably. And is it one person, like few people, or it's a big group, or we can see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like a artist.
Yeah, so they all have distinct patterns, and
Okay.
what we do when we start investigation, we build behavioral pattern,
Mm-hmm.
and then we use automation tool to filter millions of transactions to find the same behavioral pattern, and then we analyze it manually.
Mm-hmm.
So we do not rely fully on the on automation,
Mm-hmm.
but we use a lot of automation in our work.
So it sounds very closely to criminal profiling, what they do when they try
Exactly.
to assess the kind of person that they're
Yeah.
dealing with or trying to find the criminal.
Yeah.
Wow, it's very interesting.
It's very interesting. Yeah, it's very
There's
interesting.
a lot of things that you wouldn't think of, because for me it sounded at the beginning, it sounded like it's just one and zeros and this very boring kind of transaction. But no, it takes you have to know, apart from technology, psychology. You have to know a lot of different things.
When you dive
Yeah.
into that, you start seeing people.
Yeah, exactly, because people are hiding behind all these technologies.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. I love that. I love that. It's also more an art than a science.
It is an art. Yeah.
You're dealing with real crime, real money, real victims, and often invisible code. How do you balance efficiency and ethics when building your tools?
Yeah. So the basis is that ethics is very important thing for us. So we never release any data until there is a criminal case which confirmed the victim. So
Okay.
the victim should go to police and confirm that their assets are stolen. They open the criminal case. We can start the investigation before until this takes time sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But for this information to be released, we need to have a confirmed open criminal case.
Okay, you need to have the backup of the official authorities to be able to work.
True.
Makes sense.
And moreover, we have no right to get information about the criminals. So we trace them to the endpoints, like, for example, this is the exchange. So we give this information to police and say, your money are there.
Okay.
We ask them to freeze the asset temporarily. Now you need to dive in our report and go to confirm them if you believe so. And then police request the information about like KYC information, IP addresses, all that. And we cannot do that.
Of course. Yeah,
We
yeah.
never
Because
do that.
yeah, because you have you're not police enforcement, so you have to be able to work together, and you cannot go knocking on the door like, hey, I know you have, I know you have something that is not yours.
So we see a lot of movement on the blockchain. We understand what is happening. Moreover, we follow other cases on open data. We like to follow everything we can because it helps us to understand where are our clients' money and where definitely not our clients' money. Let's say North Koreans, I say they have this distinct pattern, and it's very easy to remove them from the scene, so we don't spend time tracing them.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
So you go by we call it like by descarte. So you take something and you go, it doesn't fit this pattern, so you take that person out, or you take that group out, and then you say, okay, it doesn't, and you go very much. It's also like a scientific kind of work, because you know exactly what you're looking for.
Correct.
So you don't waste your time. Makes sense. Yeah.
Not only that, but also we dive into these blockchain transactions manually. We look at them, think, discuss, and it takes time.
Yeah, but so you enter a bit of the criminal mind as well. You start thinking how they will think or how they react.
Yeah, math and game theory helps here a lot. If you stole some assets, you can spend some portion of these assets to launder this money, but you cannot spend a lot, right? You cannot spend more than you stole.
Of course.
And you cannot spend like the same amount, most probably because you have no profit. So that creates kind of balance between how much the perpetrators are willing to spend on the money laundering, and that limits their possibilities.
Oh, and do they have any preference of what they like to spend on?
Yeah, it's seasonal. Like this year it's that, next year it's something different, and it's kind of funny to look how they change their strategies, most of them. As you said in the beginning, the criminal innovation is very scary, but in fact, most of the criminals, they are quite boring
Okay.
and they follow the usual patterns. Most
Oh.
probably they discuss it with other criminals, or they don't know what we know, for example, that we are already seeing these patterns. So in fact, they don't really like to innovate. They more like they hope that everything will be fine for them.
They go for the short
Yeah.
things. So do they buy virtual items or do they buy physical items with the money?
If they buy physical items too early, they are caught very
Okay.
fast.
Because then it's very easy to trace the money.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a case like several billion, 4 billion, and after several years of laundering, the guy was caught after a payment for, I don't remember, PlayStation game or something. Yeah.
Okay, so by something very not even that expensive.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was a mistake. It's definitely
Wow,
it was a
wow.
mistake. We shared the data with FBI, and we had this call and showed them the structure. We see it was a huge structure, and after some investigation on the FBI side, they saw that there was a payment, and this payment has a lot of personal information,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the end of the investigation in this
Oh,
in this
wow.
case, and the guy went in jail, and it was a huge case. Yeah.
Oh, wow. By a so minimal mistake. But there you go. There's no perfect crime, right? So there's
Don't do mistakes. If all of them think they will never do mistakes, but this was like several years.
Okay.
You cannot launder same assets on the blockchain where everyone see what you do for several years and never do a single mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're humans.
Yeah.
Even
We're
criminals.
Yeah.
Especially them.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. But I always have this idea, you know, that the money heist kind of films, all of this, the
Yeah,
very,
yeah,
yeah,
Hollywood criminals
they
are smart and
exactly.
handsome.
They're smart and has sophisticated, so
Yeah.
everyone is rooting for the criminal,
Yeah.
but the reality is very different. But I always wonder why they don't have an escape in the real life. Why they don't have a solid escape route? Because I think it's that if I'm not a criminal, I don't have that mind. I'm actually in the opposite side. I'm a lawyer, right? But I always wonder if I ever do something extremely crazy, I will try to have a way out, because sometimes they do it and then they're in the middle with holding the pot of gold and they don't know what to do with it.
In fact, I can say that the cases that we follow, we crack them, but a lot of cases are just closed and not even investigated because police don't have enough resources and
Okay.
time. So a lot of criminals just got lucky.
Oh,
That's
because
it.
it's not as big to be followed.
Because
Okay.
maybe they stole too little,
Okay.
so no one
Interesting.
wants to invest time to trace them,
This is
unfortunately.
no recommendation for anyone to do anything criminal.
It's again the game theory comes into play,
Yeah.
because if you stole just a little bit, but in the same time you have the same risk as the guy who stole several billions,
Yeah.
but like would you like to do that?
No,
It's
that's
kind of
no.
stupid.
And it's always in your head.
Yeah.
Once you do something like that, you always I will feel forever someone is looking at me. I wouldn't have peace. I will ever feel like someone is after me. So yeah.
It's true. And they are. Law enforcement usually is slow but imminent.
He will catch you.
Yeah, they follow all that.
What role do you think blockchain can really play in increasing digital trust beyond the hype?
So digital trust is an interesting thing when you talk about blockchain. It's a little bit counterintuitive. And as blockchain doesn't rely on trust, and it does rely on math,
Okay.
it kind of increases trust into other agents on the blockchain, because if you know that if it was accepted by blockchain, it means that it's there, it's true.
Okay.
If you receive the transfer of money, it's yours now.
Mhm.
No one can like do nothing except stealing your keys or some other things. But if it's on the blockchain, it's yours, and you don't need to trust anyone, and it removes the trust from the
From the equation.
and it, by that, in fact, it incentivizes more to trust to other agents, because you don't need to build this trust beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can start working, you can do payments. If you see the smart contracts that is activated automatically in some cases, then it means it is activated automatically, and the event happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to have trust. And in this case, it kind of removes a headache about should I trust, and until what point, and if I trust this person, yes, like if I trusted yesterday, should I trust it tomorrow?
Okay.
And that removes all that. And I truly believe blockchain is amazing thing that incentivizes trust by removing trust from equation.
So the system is trustworthy in itself.
Yeah.
So you don't need to have the mental load of thinking, oh, should I trust it or not? Because if you understand how it works, then by itself you say, okay, I know the system is built in a way that it cannot be fooled.
You trust the system.
Okay, you trust
the
system.
math.
What's one technological red flag you think people ignore too often?
Yeah, so the reddest red flag of all red flags is the user.
Oh.
The weakest link in the technology currently is the user and technical literacy level of the user, unfortunately. Most of the cases we face are phishing, something like this, without any sophisticated hacking.
Okay.
We have like few big hacking cases which are very loud per year, but in reality, most of the cases we face is just someone was working in the company and stole the key.
Oh.
And now this person has access to the wallet, so they stole the money and ran away. Or it was a phishing website or something else, something
An
like
email
this.
saying.
An email, and most of the people they can tell when they see the phishing emails, but they don't think that you're stupid. They just look for the moments when you're sick, drunk, tired, whatever.
Distracted.
Yeah,
Okay.
distracted. So they just, it's a numbers game. They send thousands and thousands emails, hoping that one person will just click the wrong button in the wrong day.
Yeah, well, my parents are a bit elderly now, and my father, he always gets, thankfully now he asks us what we think when he receives this kind of emails, but he always, I think he's in a list of potential easy to get kind of victims, because he often gets all these emails from his bank, from people asking for business venture, for all of things. And my father, he always trusts. He always thinks it's something that is trustworthy. But now at least he asks. But he has had some incident, nothing major. But still, he's often targeted in that way. And I've seen that a lot. That they often also target people who are vulnerable, but maybe not in the sophisticated way of the blockchain, which is a different kind of user. But overall, is as you were saying, that they play with the vulnerabilities. So they play with people who are not in the right mind in the right moment, or people who are just doing something else, and they see something quick and they don't really reflect on it. So they really play with whatever the person might be coming through or happening in that moment.
So true. And in case of bank, you can call them and say, hey, stop this payment or whatever, start investigation right now, call the other bank and freeze whatever you can. In blockchain, it's poof, and it's
gone.
it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah, that's scary. Yeah. So be careful what. So it's mostly like the behavior that they're looking for weaknesses,
Yeah.
and they do it in a large scale to have a few.
Just
Yeah.
random, just
Yeah.
random, hoping that someone will click something by mistake. And
Okay.
if that happens, I highly recommend to act as quickly as possible and put emotions aside for a few hours, run to police, start a criminal case, call us, and we can, if it's first hours, we can try to freeze as much as we can.
Okay. You can cry at the police station.
Yeah,
If
and
you need
I
to.
would even say that if we're talking not about people but about the companies that deal with digital assets on the blockchain, I would highly recommend to have the protocol of actions, what you do in case it happens. I understand that we don't want to think about it, but in case that happens, there should be already a lot of questions answered. Who is going to present the company and go to police, start open the case, in what country, what legal entity, because some companies have several legal entities. So you should decide in what country, in what exactly police department you will go, who you will talk to, when, and you have to have these people on the call on the phone 24/7 for this case. So it's kind of like if fire happens in the office, you need to have
A designated person who's gonna lead the
someone
group.
who will do anything, because everyone else will run in circles and like cry and yell.
Yeah. So that's a great advice. So before anything happens, there should be everyone should know their roles.
Yeah.
So the one who has to go to the police, the one who has to gather the evidence, the one who needs to also inform the rest, so it stops all that. So it's interesting to do it beforehand, so the person is kind of prepared and know how they go into action mode instead of panic mode.
Yeah, definitely. That really helps. So you need to have some procedures to prevent these kind of situations, but you also should have some procedures to act quickly when it happens.
Yeah.
Just reach out. I can help. Definitely to set up this kind of stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense. So don't panic.
Don't panic. You panic after.
Panic after, the aftershock.
Do this, do that, and then you can panic when someone else, when professionals are on the case. Yeah.
You hand over, and then you can go to your corner and panic.
You can panic for a couple of months after.
If we gave you the power to redesign one digital infrastructure from scratch, finance, ID, or regulatory compliance, which would you choose and why?
Oh, honestly, this one not about blockchain. Can I say? But maybe about blockchain. I don't know. It's not. I am really annoyed with the price of the transactions of like bank cards transactions, Visa and MasterCard. And when you go to the convenience store and they say like at least $5 and or we cannot do the transaction. It's because the price of the transaction is about 10 cents per each transaction. And that is in fact the reason why we have so much advertising on the internet, because we don't have small transactions, we don't have microtransactions, so they kind of have to survive. And I honestly, if we could rebuild this part, that would really help everyone. Convenience stores, that would reduce amount of advertising on the internet, and that would really help us to see the world differently. You like the post, you can like send a couple of 10 cents, and it really helps to incentivize creators. I believe so.
So to remove the barrier of entry for this transaction, because you have to have a minimum in order to be able to pay for a transaction currently.
Big,
so the idea would be to make it open.
Yeah. It would be great. I hope we're gonna get there in a couple of decades, because these Visa and MasterCard transaction networks, let's say, they were born when compute resources were very expensive. Let's
Yeah.
say it
It
was
was
a
a
high
different
load.
world.
Currently, it's I would say it became several times, maybe orders magnitude cheaper. So
Hmm.
I hope the time is coming for us to move from 10 cents to 1 cent transactions.
And then no sense.
At some point in time, we might end up something like this. Yeah,
Okay.
might end up.
So to make sure that it is there's no block in the process.
Yeah,
So if you wanna how much money you wanna send, you will be able to send it without the minimum.
yeah. It's like public transport. It might be not profitable, but it incentivizes the economy in the country. So
Yeah, it's a
the
public service.
yeah, we might end up having these kind of transaction networks being extremely cheap and not very efficient, but at least extremely cheap and on a government level, maybe. I'm not sure, but I truly believe we might end up with some kind of blockchain structure
Okay.
at the end, because it becomes more and more efficient. On the other hand, some blockchains they grow very fast, but yeah, this honestly, from a government point of view, blockchain is so transparent if they control it.
Hmm.
So I believe government will force us to use blockchain in like 30 years or so,
Okay.
because they will be able to control everything, see everything. But on the other hand, you don't know who's owning the money, because you cannot connect the address on the blockchain with the person. But on the government side, they might force you to
Provide
to
the
provide
physical
everything, and
address.
they will see everything, but the citizens will not be able to see what they do each other of them. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because they will have the privileged information as the
Yeah,
government.
it's kind of scary, but we can see about that.
Well, they already know everything about us, so.
Not not like not like everything, but yeah, a lot. A lot.
I have a very clear idea of what I think the future is going to be about in 20, 30 years. And I do believe that this privacy itself is not going to be a concept that we're gonna enjoy the same way that we enjoy now. Because the more technology gets into everyday life, the more connected we are, the more footprints we leave behind. So there's going to be a point that it's going to be virtually everything that we do during the day that is going to be recorded somehow.
Yeah, true. But it depends also on the system, because the meanings to control all these amounts of information, if government has these kind of technological things to do that,
Mm-hmm.
it means that we as people, we can also have a lot of technological means to control the government.
Oh, well, yeah.
So I hope it will kind of grow to another system. But yeah, in fact, on the period when government has access to the technology that we don't, it kind of gives advantage on the surveillance. But after some point in time, we become more and more tech literate.
Mm-hmm.
So we start to control government more and more. You can see that some government officials, they are not aware of how technology works, like
Okay.
at all, and it creates, like, it
A
gives
gap.
more balance. Yeah, it creates a gap. Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's see in 50 years we see it again and we see who's right.
Yeah,
Okay. So now we're gonna go to the flash section.
let's do that.
You have to pick one. You can also pick two or pick none.
Okay.
You're free to choose. And if you want to justify your choice, you can also justify it, but you don't have to. Okay, are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Tracking the wallet or cracking the code?
So tracking the wallet, I picked this one. It's more interesting for me. Cracking the code is kind of interesting, but usually it's not how my brain works, unfortunately.
Okay, you like to follow the money.
Yeah.
Anti-money laundering rules that evolve slowly or tools that adapt fast?
I pick both. Okay. Tools should adapt fast because the world changes very fast, but if we have rules that changes very fast, it's not good.
Mm.
So I prefer money laundering rules to evolve slowly, little by little, and reflect what is happening for some amount of time, not just like yesterday. And the tools should be day one ready. In the perfect world, that should be like that. Yeah.
Okay. Full transparency by design or privacy first until suspicion arises?
I honestly believe privacy of the data is important, extremely important, but transparency of the architecture and of the code is also same level important. So
Okay.
transparency of architecture
Mm-hmm.
and privacy of the data.
So the both again.
Yeah.
Preventive algorithms or reactive intelligence?
Currently, we like years and years we were trying to create best preventative algorithms, and reactive intelligence was not fully automated. But currently, with the help of AI, we start to be more reactive, more fast. It's kind of evolution, and we become faster creatures on the net.
Yeah, and also you cannot really pursue a crime that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So
To some degree, yeah.
Ah.
Sometimes there are like few seconds or minutes when you can see that already something is happening.
Something is building. So
Yeah.
you start looking like, okay, just you see the behavior and you know something is
Yeah.
coming. It's like the wave when the sea comes back and
It's
you
like
know something is
it's like a
coming.
pimple, more like that.
Okay. Oh God. Centralized enforcement or decentralized trust?
So yeah, as I said, decentralized trust. Decentralized trust is like when you trust math and it helps, but enforcement should be centralized. I truly believe we have to delegate the enforcement to some controlled to some degree agencies, but decentralized enforcement is kind of weird but still possible at some point in time, but I don't believe that we have technological means so far. The decentralized enforcement, I don't see how it may work currently in modern life.
Okay. Protecting data sovereignty or pursuing digital accountability?
Protecting data and making big companies accountable for their data leaks, let's say. Definitely.
Wow.
We have to protect our privacy. We have to own our data. Currently our data is owned by
Everyone else.
feudal companies, let's say, like
Yeah.
Facebook is kind of a country and they own your data and they sell it, and you live inside, and like other companies, they're similar in their behavior. So I believe we need to end the era of these kind of feudal structures that own human data and humans that don't own their own data. It's kind of weird. It's incorrect.
So it's I like the mental picture of there's a tiny you in all these companies just waving and saying, hey, take me back.
Yeah, I have no power, no rights, and they can ban you anytime, and they still sell your data. And
they hold all the control for now.
Disgusting.
Real-time reporting or long-term forensics?
Real-time reporting is crucial currently for like cases as usual criminal cases, let's say. But long-time forensics works really well when you fight organized crime on international level.
Okay. Public-private collaboration or independent investigative power?
Independent investigative power is kind of big thing. But I really hope that some aspects of the investigation should always stay in control of public agencies, law enforcement agencies.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But unfortunately, I have to admit that if people come to us to hire us to do the investigation, it means that the public law enforcement agencies or the police, they have no possibility to perform their duty. This is the problem currently. And
Okay.
in fact, I am starting a new project to create some tools to give them to police to allow them to act quicker.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
great. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, it's we build a lot of tools
Mhm.
internally for our investigations, but they have almost no interface and they have like very sophisticated parameters and it's not convenient to use them. So we want to make them more usable by normal people,
Mm-hmm.
not just like data scientists or like
Okay.
that, and try to allow police to use them during their investigations to automate some cases. Let's say if it will not work in 50% of cases, it's okay if it will work automatically in other 50% and it will just unload all this routine from police. And if I say automatic, it means very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. I love that.
Yeah, me too. Thank
So
you.
it's exciting also.
Yeah.
And a final flash question.
Yeah.
AI for flagging anomalies or human-led intuition?
I would say both because
No, this is for the next section.
oh, it's okay, okay.
So it's
AI
AI for
and
flagging anomalies or
oh,
human-led
I say
intuition?
both anyway.
Okay.
Because
Same answer.
to train AI, you need data labeled usually or somehow processed by humans
Mhm.
by their intuition or experience. But AI itself is a tool that allows you to see more,
Mm.
and that makes you to get more experience, to see, to have better understanding, and to train better AI. So
Mm.
it goes like in levels, one after another, and humans and AI, they work together to improve all the results of each other. So
Okay.
it's a kind of
So both.
symbiosis. Yeah,
We
both.
still need humans.
Well, some of them, definitely.
Some. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to the game. True or futurist. So, ready? You have to choose either one.
Yeah.
True meaning that it is happening right now, it is about to happen, or is very likely to happen. And futurist mean that is way in the future, sci-fi is never going to happen, maybe in 50 years,
see.
100 years, something like that.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Governments will use AI to flag suspicious crypto transactions before they are finalized.
Yeah, true. It's already there. So it's
Okay.
already there, and sometimes you can see that something is happening even like few seconds or minutes ago. In some cases, you can detect it a few days before.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, before. I would say before, seconds before, minutes before, or sometimes hours or days in rare cases. But all of that is already there. Luckily, in Europe, we have regulations that AI cannot be the only decision maker.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot show the AI report in the court and say this AI decided, so we put this guy in jail. So we don't do that here. So it flagging, yes, it flags suspicious transactions and it attracts human attention to verify.
Okay, perfect.
So it's there.
It's there.
It's there.
Know your customer will evolve into know your algorithm.
I would say they will coexist.
Okay, in between.
Because the answer is very simple. You cannot put AI in jail so
Okay.
far. Yeah, so you need someone like your KYC stays. You need someone who will be held responsible in some cases.
Mhm.
So you definitely need to understand the algorithms and AI that stand behind the decision making, but KYC doesn't go anywhere.
Okay. A hacker will eventually be prosecuted by an AI-generated forensic report.
It's true. The hacker is currently already prosecuted by AI-generated forensic report,
Mhm.
but you have to verify everything and collect all the proofs and witness to this particular case. As a human, you must do this manually anyway, and you have to explain it to the judge anyway. And you may use AI as a tool, but you have to be the decision maker as a human.
Okay, so it helps to build the case, but there's a lot of still that the human has to do.
Yeah. So AI itself cannot put the hacker into the jail, but AI in fact does a lot of work.
Okay, it's a good tool.
Yeah.
Decentralized justice systems will emerge to resolve Web3 disputes.
I say it's kind of futuristic, but it doesn't mean it will never happen,
Okay.
because as I see decentralized justice systems, it's kind of new thing, new field, and they evolve.
Mhm.
And I would say every time we staying in our system currently and seeing its flaws, we want to change it and make it better. So the search for the perfect system never stops. So we always try to develop the better system,
Mm.
but as it takes time and try and error approach, so we will see a lot of them fail, and we will see a lot of them change and evolve. And at some point in time, it may lead that to the point when we have a lot of information to create even better systems.
Okay, so the work is never done.
The work is never done, and I want to see the progress in this area. It's kind of very interesting thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anti-money laundering software will learn to detect criminal intent before text and tone.
Yeah, text and tone analysis is there already, so it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell we detect, we don't have text and tone on the blockchain, but we
Okay.
can see transactions, how they follow. Let's say we follow several sequence of transactions, and we can speak something at, we can say something about this sequence. They can be a lot of quick small transactions, or they can be like scattered in time. So this kind of analysis helps us to understand more about what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can see that the entity changed, so the money got transferred to some other party that will focus on money laundering.
Mm-hmm.
So the hacker, let's say, steals the assets, and someone else is laundering the assets.
Oh.
So they kind of exchange to a little bit less dirty money. So they have very dirty, and they will focus on laundering. And we can see that on the blockchain, and from the pattern itself, we can already detect that.
Okay, so between the criminals, they have the different roles then.
It depends, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes if it's
Organized.
a group, organized crime, yeah.
Okay, okay. So one will be in charge of taking, on the one laundering, the other one of
Yeah.
putting in a different places.
Yeah, if that
Okay.
happens, you can definitely tell that there is organized crime behind.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's scary and interesting at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Privacy coins will be banned in major economies.
I will say I don't believe so.
Okay.
Privacy coins, they create a lot of problems when people steal assets and they go to privacy coins, and it's impossible to trace.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. But in fact, for some reason, hackers doesn't like them a lot,
Okay.
because it's hard to sell them. It's very easy to buy them, because you can buy them on the exchange, and like some people buy small amounts of these kind of coins to their personal recreational use, let's say.
Okay.
But when we're
Dot,
talking,
dot.
yeah, but when we're talking about like several, like 20 million stolen assets, if they get there it's very hard to launder them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the bigger the money, the less likely for them to use this privacy coins.
That depends. Sometimes they're just crazy, but it's very random. But most of the cases, they don't like to put a lot of this. They can take some portion of stolen assets and move to privacy coins. But in most of the cases, they try to rush to the exchanges and exchange
Okay.
there to something liquid,
Okay.
not this kind of stuff.
Okay.
More liquid, the better.
Yeah.
So as I honestly believe privacy coin will not be banned in major economies because the harm is not that big, and they are kind of funny. They are technologically very advanced.
Okay.
They are interesting, and there gives this little bit fresh air to some people, and they're kind of happy. So you remember, like in Matrix, you can have some fun thinking that you escaped Matrix, and so yeah.
when you didn't.
When you didn't, yeah, it's kind of stuff.
Interesting. Well, I still believe that we are inside the matrix in a different kind of reality.
Yeah, I try not to think about that.
And there's so many. But there, I have a lot of theories about the parallel universe, about all the Mandela effect, all of these things. I think they're all
Sometimes it's
connected.
obvious, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's very and it's scary obvious.
Yeah, Matrix, stop. What are you doing?
And I personally have many deja vus, so for me it's kind of like also a bit freaky.
Yeah, it happens.
So yeah, we're in the matrix, on some kind of matrix. Maybe not the one that we are batteries, but in some other kind. Okay, scary things. You will be able to freeze a wallet globally with one jurisdictional order.
Until we end up having like only 2-3 countries on Earth, and all of them are tyrannies or empires. We won't be able to do that, luckily.
Okay.
So it's a good thing. Unfortunately, it's a bad thing for victim, but in fact, it's really good thing that we cannot just freeze something what we want on the blockchain. This is the idea, right? But in a kind of government-baked blockchains later, we might have these kind of situations. And for example, USDT, they allow to freeze the assets. It's kind of centralized coin, decentralized in some way, but it's 1-to-1 to USD. And they like to keep it clean, so they will freeze the assets if you ask them.
Okay, so they will try to be on the safe side.
But it's very rarely when hackers like spend a lot of time there.
Okay, because they know that there's a higher risk there.
They just don't like stable coins, let's say.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. So futuristic.
It's kind of. I hope not. Let's say.
You hope not.
I hope not.
So no dystopian.
Yeah, it's still
future.
possible. We're very close to that currently, but yeah, I hope not.
Well, it's we either gonna end up like a Big Brother, or we're gonna end up in some other kind of sci-fi novel.
We'll see about that. AI may change a lot of things in ways that we don't even understand how it may happen.
Okay.
Like first internet, no one would say we would have Facebook or TikTok.
It's true. It evolved in a way that no one would have predicted. Yeah. Open source code will include built-in ethical flags.
It's kind of futuristic, I think.
Okay.
But it's still possible. But the thing is, there are a lot of people that don't have any ethical like flags to include, and on the other hand, many people might share different ethical views, and they might include different things. But usually on the blockchain, in my area on the blockchain, they kind of very open on what you want to do with your own money. So not so much flags here.
Okay. Different styles.
Yeah.
Smart contracts will include a morality clause in the near future.
It's kind of futuristic. It's
Okay.
kind of the same. So
Okay.
the smart contracts, they don't pop up out of blue. The people create them, and
It's
people,
not magic.
it's not magic. Yeah, people decide what is good, what is bad, and they might include something there or not, but it's hard to verify if this morality clause is followed.
Okay.
So if you can put something into the code, then yeah, probably.
Okay. Okay. And finally, black market platforms will advertise AI detention avoidance tools.
Yeah, AI detection avoidance tools, they're already there.
Okay.
And not only not only AI, like any kind of tools you can buy there. And there are some AI models that has no limits on what they could discuss, can they do, hacking models or other stuff. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, they're kind of too young to be really dangerous
Okay.
now, but there was a period of time in cybersecurity when the term script kiddie was coined. It was time when hacking was kind of automated on the script level, and there was a lot of young people who were trying these scripts to hack
Okay.
different stuff, and they were not very experienced, but it was era when uh, prevention and protection was not very how to say, sophisticated.
Mm-hmm.
So this script kiddies was very successful, hacking everything around, and it was a transition period between complicated smart systems that can prevent hacking.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe so that AI will give us the possibility to hack a lot of things in ways that we didn't expect
Mm-hmm.
until we develop better tools, probably also based on AI, to fight these kind of attacks.
Oh.
That will be a wave of this kind of stuff maybe in next 10 years that we will face that like a lot.
Yeah, because well, the technology that evolves in both ways. It evolves for the good, for chasing criminals, but also evolves for making criminal activities.
Yeah, and to fight criminal activities, the technology kind of evolves a little bit later,
Okay.
and usually people who use the systems, they upgrade their systems after something happens.
Ah.
So we're gonna have this situation when it is normal to read about a new hack every day for a couple of years.
Well,
Yeah.
we have a saying in my home country, Dominican Republic, that it's translated to people put a lock after they've been robbed.
Yeah,
So it's we say it a lot like that
yeah,
because it's human nature as
correct.
well, because
It's true.
you never think it's going to happen to you
So
until
true.
it does.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so now the long view question.
Okay.
If you had a backdoor key to every digital system, what's one rule you'd locked in permanently?
If I had a backdoor key to every digital system, you would have a new dark ruler, definitely. So, my dear Frodo,
Your
keep the
true
ring,
nature is emerging.
keep the ring. Yeah.
Too much power.
In fact, as I honestly see, humans are the most weak link in the digital system, and usually are the main vector of attack is the human itself. So tricking the human into doing something,
Mm-hmm.
because we cannot limit humans to act as they will.
Yeah.
This is the purpose. That would really help in some cases. If you put the limit on yourself, let's say you cannot transfer money faster than in 3 days, you have to start the transaction, then you need to confirm the next day.
Mm-hmm.
That might help, but it
Okay.
limits you.
Your
And
ability.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
limits a lot. So we don't like that. So we keep ourselves the power to act quickly and have a huge impact on what we own. It also makes possible that when the hackers get their hands on your keys, they may act quickly and like stole your assets.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could fix the the part of the system, I would fix users, because I see that hackers and perpetrators in cybersecurity world, their advantage is usually level of technical literacy,
Mm-hmm.
and the gap between normal people and their level of technical literacy
Okay.
is the main way how they like, it's the space where they operate.
So that they take advantage because they know better and they know more,
Yeah.
and the human is limited.
So reducing this gap
Mm-hmm.
and putting more effort into learning more about important, let's say, most scary parts of this technical stuff. This is important for all of us. We
Okay.
should raise the level of technical literacy as much as we can.
So it will be a backdoor key to the mindset of the users.
Yeah, but the guy who has access to backdoor access to the minds of billions of people,
Mhm.
it's kind of a
Scary.
different story. Yeah.
Well, if they map our conscience into a machine, we'll be able to do that.
At some point in time, we will
Yeah, yeah,
definitely,
yeah, yeah.
definitely.
It's-
I honestly believe that the mind is fully described by neural connections.
yeah.
So if we map them, there was this fruit fly brain already scanned and mapped and started in virtual reality, and they made it to sniff something, and it was turning to this point, to this to the same side. So it,
Oh.
in fact, it lived without understanding what is happening. It lived for a second
It
in
had
virtual
conscience.
space. But yeah, it's very small brain, but
Yeah.
it
What is a
it, it
spark?
advances exponentially. So yeah, in
Okay.
100 years, I thought. Did you see this TV series Upload?
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of
yeah, yeah,
funny.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah. I love all that kind of thing. I love Black Mirror. I love all this kind of like interesting alternative futures. But I do believe it can happen. It can, because it is true that the essence of the human is not this physical body that we have.
It's true.
Is something that it can be captured in other vessels. And why not in technology?
As I see it, we are less humans alive. Like, you know, like ancient Romans, they didn't know there were ancient Romans.
Exactly,
Yeah,
that's
so
true. That's true.
they were enjoying the progress and the power and everything. And I want to say that the moment we already have genetical therapy
Mm-hmm.
allowed in Europe, and it means we will change our genes
Mm.
at some point in time so fast that when you reach the reproductive age, your genes are kind of obsolete.
Mm.
And 30 years of your life, there might be so huge progress in genes development that you might want to assemble your child just by catalog, like in the store. You buy the best genes, and they
Of
will
course.
be cheap because they will be mass produced. Everything mass produced is focused to be affordable. So in
So
this
no
case,
disease,
yeah,
no aging.
we will merge with the machine, I believe.
Okay, we go.
To some degree, it will be slowly, like 200, 300 years, but
Okay,
not
okay.
not fast. But we will get there.
But steady, but steady. Maybe our kids, which is gonna be, we will be this. We will see the first part of it. Our kids,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
Okay, interesting. I really, I'm really positive about the future always, but with kind of a bit of a sinister kind of thought also, because humans, we are capable of amazing things. We are
yeah,
capable of beautiful things, but also awful and atrocious
yeah.
things. So the future, I think, it's just in a tightrope, and at any moment, it's gonna flip.
So true. Yeah.
Thank you, Igor,
Thank you, Leticia.
for demonstrating that in a constantly changing battle between criminals and coders, it is not just about keeping up, It's about coding smarter. It's about recognizing patterns where others see chaos and creating systems that remain robust under pressure. Because it is this new frontier, the crime scene isn't a back alley, it's a blockchain. The getaway car is a disappearing wallet, and the investigator often a well trained algorithm armed with intent, not instinct. At the heart of it all, though, it is a simple truth: trust isn't built with buzzwords, it is built with architecture, clean, auditable, ethical architecture. So here's to the digital detective, like you, the architect of accountability, and the kind of code that catches more than just bugs.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a lovely conversation.
Yeah.
Scary as well.
A little bit.
just
Sorry for that.
just as the future, beautiful and scary.
Yeah. Thank you, Leticia. Thank you for having me in Intangiblia podcast, and I'm really amazed that it's a #1 podcast in intellectual rights. Indie podcast, amazing.
Oh, thank you. Through a lot of work.
Yeah.
No, but it's a beautiful project that I started out of. I love IP, so it's something that I fell in love with when I was studying in law school, a few years ago. And after that, I just became in love with IP because it's the part of the law that really talks about creation, innovation, talks about the amazing things that humans can do. Because I was never attracted to the other kind of more serious part of the law, like land law, tax law, all of this kind of things. I admire people who
Tax
do
law.
that.
So
You
attractive.
need that,
Oh.
but it's not me. And I come from a family of accountants, so all my families they are
Oh.
CPAs. So for me, it's like no, I run away from numbers, from too much formality. So I found in IP like this a creative outlet. But also I found the law because I'm very passionate about the law, the norms, all that. I'm always very curious. So yeah, that's and it has taken me to this podcast. This is my passion project, my third baby.
Yeah, follow your passion. It gives amazing results, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I think for you it's the same.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.